register, sign off. Okay, welcome to the third lecture. We're going to be having a look at Java servlets today, which some people may have come across. It used to be part of the advanced programming module. You'll have certainly done servers in there, creating your own server. You might have just started to come across them in some of the labs, particularly to do with mobile app development. But I just want to go over what they are, because they're certainly going to be needed as part of your assignment. And speaking on that, the assignment is up there, pasted that up last week on web services. So there's, I did send out a quick mail over the forums over the weekend saying that whilst it's there, there's not much you can do on it right now for it. Perhaps by this time, middle of next week, you'll have got enough to sort of be able to do on it. Particularly if in the labs this week you do the bonus exercise that I'll be putting out on connecting or creating a film server.
On that subject, I think Nick Costin has sent out a email with an example sort of program that mentioned film and stuff like that. Just check my emails this morning, I've seen it there.
I don't know, I don't get Nick Costin's mails. I'll just you're not confusing with me then, I think we go.
Unless you've sent that out.
No, well I sent one out to do with films.
Oh, it could have been.
Yeah, okay. So that was the one I was just referring to, sorry, don't worry. So by all means have a look at it there, but please can you avoid sending me emails saying I don't know how to do this yet, because we just haven't covered enough really yet. Try and avoid any questions about it, certainly for at least a couple of weeks.
These books there?
Yeah. Ones that were given out last week. No, you're all right. I used it as a sort of surreptitious attendance checker.
I was it.
Is it great? No, you're all right. So yeah, but if you want to have a look at it, feel free. And I'll also be in the lab sessions doing lots of little demos that will certainly help with your assignment as well for that. You'll start to see a lot of things to do with MySQL appearing. You should have received an email about a MySQL username and password that you've got. You'll need that if you want to connect to MySQL here at MMU. Typically, usernames like your surname with one of your initials, and then some strange password for it. There's a little demo session on using MySQL from the command line, a screenshot of what you would sort of type in to get it working at the command line. If you want to use the MySQL workbench, I'm not sure that that's part of the standard image that they've got in all the labs, but if you've got that on your home machine and you want to use that, that's fine. You can just still connect across to your account here. You don't have to use your MMU account for MySQL. If you want to set it up on your own machine or an outside machine and get it working on there, the drawback to that is if you want to demonstrate it to somebody, you've got to have your machine present there, or at least connected on the web. Whereas if you use the MMU one, that's connectable from outside or anywhere, and you'll be able to do your demos live, if you like, without having to sort of leave your laptop linked up and connected to the internet and all port forwarding on and things like that. So, bit of info just there on starting it up. We'll be using that more in the labs for it. We've finished with the transforms and XML parsing, although you'll be doing XML parsing in the assignment. I'm going to set off today on this bit about Java servlets and JSP review, showing you what servlets are. Not too big a deal to them really here. There's quite a few more methods than what I'll be showing you here. They'll just sort of show you a bit about how to set up a server-side Java program how to connect to it, how to extract out any parameters that are passed to it, that sort of thing. But there's all sorts of other aspects about getting the headers out of client information that's sent, or cookie handling and things like that. We're not really a web application development module. We're doing some web services where we're picking up that parameter data, but a lot of the other stuff is really outside our realm of interest. You can sort of move into that if you like. But next week we're getting on to the bit about Ajax, what it's like in using jQuery, over the next sort of 2 weeks with. So that's what those handouts here are about. Although it does seem sort of pretty thick, because I think one or two of the things ended up, I told them to print it incorrectly, and they ended up being full sheet copies of some of the handouts. So it made the handouts a bit thicker for you. Anyway, just moving on to this week then. This is the Servlet and JSP, just sort of overview of it. What a servlet allows you to do is to run Java on the server, really. And JSP is another way of running servlets on the server, but less complicated to it. Essentially, JSP looks very similar to how PHP and ASP approach writing server-side software. Servlets are raw Java code that just run on the server, and we'll see some examples of each one. Certainly, Java servlets are the things that are used by large-scale companies, really for big scale applications. And I gave a couple of weeks ago some sort of guidance sheets on who's using what for web development. Java, C# being sort of right there at the top, PHP sort of still up there, but it's really used for sort of large scale development because it's very secure for one thing, and also it's easily movable from one to another. So just going to have a look at this Servlet and JSP, what it is, why you use it, how to set it up in your Eclipse setup. So if you want to set it up on your own machine, it's ready configured here at MMU. But if you want to set it up on your own laptop, PC or Mac, I've done a separate sheet just on getting hold of it and setting it up. So I'll also have a look here about how you might actually deploy an app. So writing something in Java inside Eclipse, and then how you get it to run on that server type. And then the basics of these servlets, picking up some form data, creating a form, and how you might actually read that data. We won't do too much on the JSP scripting, and certainly the bit about using the XML syntax for JSP pages, I'll leave out for that. So in terms of setting up the development environment, separate sheet for this. If you just have a look on Moodle, you'll see a PDF guide to setting up for yourself. But just for info about which versions to get, there is a link there to get hold of Tomcat, the version 8 one. That includes the 8.5. We've got 8.5 installed on all the lab machines. Now I think you can get version 9 to it, so if you go and sort of grab the latest version, I think on Tomcat 9 that was released over the summer or something, I don't think it would make much of a difference if you sort of got it in. The only difference would be when you're importing the projects that I've given you. I've configured them for Tomcat 8.5, and you just need to go into the configuration and say, I'm not using 8.5, I'm using 9. And that's about the only sort of change you'd need. So already installed in the labs. Only do the sort of instructions off the sheet, the separate sheet, if you're setting up on your own PC. Very simple to get it, but basically you just unzip this zip file of Tomcat, and in Eclipse you just tell it where it is. You just say, I want to set up a new server, and then tell it I want to use Apache Tomcat 8.5 instead of whichever. Just a quick think of it where you see it, if you like. When you start up, well, that's me creating the scripts. If you can't see the servers window, the show view allows you to sort of bring it up, and you'll see a thing to get the servers. And I know the reason I'm sort of raising this is that a few people this week didn't have a servers tab. The servers window will tell you which servers you've got set up, and it'll create this little servers folder in your project window with all the configuration of whichever server you're using. Now, if you've not got one set up on your home machine, that'll be blank. You probably won't have a servers folder. But similarly, if for whatever reason you get to one of your lab machines, and 5 or 6 people in the labs found that this last week, that for some reason it hadn't been put over onto everybody's account for it. But you can easily set it up in Eclipse. Once you've unzipped the actual Tomcat package, you can just do a new server, and you'll see an option there to install lots of different types of server, the Apache ones, IBM ones, Oracle ones, all sort of different ones. Ours, the name suggests,